Ow! Plug me into something. Your brother from the gutter, the slick one, is back behind the wood for the open bar. Yes, it's the Home Alone version of the open bar, direct from Hydroxychloroquine Studios, located somewhere in South Buffalo above the telephone pole. Yeah! It's the Friday Slickcast. The weekend is here, and I'm going to make my first ever debut on another person's podcast. That's right. I did not know this, but there are other people evidently that have podcasts besides myself. So, really. And the cat's name is Anthony Bamasuto, and he has a podcast called The Sit Down, and it'll be 6:30 p.m. Friday live on YouTube and also on Facebook Live. So he's going to be, sweating me down, asking me a bunch of tough questions, which I hopefully will be able to answer. If not, you'll just get like a blank stare, which is always works. So there you go. 6:30 tomorrow, The Sit Down with Anthony Bamasuto. And if you would like me to be on your podcast, forget about it. So here we are. It is Halloween time. It is, a lot of great movies. I've been going through my horror collection, which is pretty extensive. I've got some good stuff lined up. And my recommendation for right now, for today, for this weekend, if you can get your hands on a copy of, or you can stream it somewhere, my favorite all-time zombie movie from 1988, The Return of the Living Dead, which is, I would put it up there with Evil Dead 2 as far as being frightening and also hilarious at the same time.
Medication time. Medication time.
And in his new 165-page report, Jack Smith, the new legal brief was unsealed by a federal judge, albeit with some redactions. The special counsel fleshed out detailed evidence that he would use against Trump at trial. That is, if the case ever makes it that far. If Trump gets elected, you can forget about it. He will make it go away. Smith also presented his arguments for why Trump is not immune from the charges, despite the Supreme Court's ruling over the summer that granted presidents broad immunity for official acts. So J.D. Vance is saying these acts were not done as president. He had to go back and redo the whole goddamn thing. And who knows? You got to love this guy's doggedness. You don't know if it's ever going to go to trial. They already gave Trump saying that the president has total immunity if he's acting as president. And so, he goes back, Jack Smith goes back to the drawing board and says, okay, all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to rewrite this thing, and I'm going to bring it back, and we're gonna get this fucker. And some things that have been released that we didn't know before, like for example, Pence said to Trump, "Look it, you lost the election. You can run again in 4 years. You revive the Republican Party that was, dying. Just run again in 4 years." And Trump says, "Look, I don't know if I'll be around in 4 years." And then he gets on Pence for not going along with the crazy idea that he doesn't have to certify the election. And Pence says, "I can't do that." He tells him, I can't do it. It's not within my powers. And so Trump says to him, "You will be remembered as, if you don't do this, as a stupid person, and everyone will hate you. Stop being so honest. You're too damn honest," he tells him. So this is damning. I mean, he's basically telling him, to do this for me and stop being so honest. Obviously, he knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew he lost the election. That's the whole point here. Some of the other things that were said that we didn't know is that Trump was told during the insurrection that Mike Pence's life is in danger and they are taking him down into the basement to keep him safe. And Trump says to the individual who's not named, he says to him, "So what?" So what? And really, this comes as no surprise, because we know from the January 6th hearing that Trump took to Twitter during the insurrection At 2:24 p.m. on January 6th, as Trump supporters were attacking the Capitol, Trump took to Twitter to condemn Mike Pence, saying Pence lacked courage because Pence had resisted Trump's pressure to intervene in the certification of the election. So then that's when you saw the lunatics going, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. So he throws him under the bus. We knew that. That's old news. But now we know that he was told that his life was in danger, and Trump says, so what? So, he's a dick. The guy is a dick. But much of Smith's brief focused on Trump's state of mind in the weeks leading up to the Capitol riot on January 6th. Smith describes a slew of conversations suggesting that the then president knew his claims of election fraud were lame and bogus, and Smith laid out evidence that Trump's sole objective was to stay in power, not, as he and his lawyers had claimed, to exercise legitimate authority over election integrity. Yeah, tell me another one. So, yeah, he wanted to stay in power, and look, it's all laid out, but will it ever get to trial? Who knows? Only if he loses. Only if he loses.
They're eating the dog.
You gotta be a football hero to get along with a beautiful girl.
Yeah, the Bills looking to bounce back against the Texans. It's C.J. Stroud and the boys. Of course, our old friend, ass clown that he is, Stephon Diggs, is there. And C.J. Stroud, the Texans quarterback, came out and said that he's glad to see that Diggs is having fun playing football again, like he was having such a miserable time here, the poor guy. And listen, they put up a lot of yards, but they don't score a lot of points. So the Bills defense, they give up a lot of yards, but they don't give up a lot of points, except for last week, of course. I think this game is going to be a real dogfight. I mean, the Texans, they have some weapons there. They've got Nico Collins. C.J. Stroud is a good young quarterback, and I think this is going to be, for them, they're going to be up for this game because they want to. A lot of people are looking for them to take the next step this year and be a playoff contender, and to knock the Bills off, that would be a big feather in their cap. So they are going to be amped up for this one, the Texans, and the Bills better have their shit together, unlike last week where they were, I don't know what the problem was, but they better be fired up for this one. And I don't see us losing 2 games in a row. I think we're going to pull this one off, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be close, and I think the Bills will win it. I'm going to say 27-24, okay? But it'll be tough. It'll be a tough one.
Let's inhale some drugs together.
So that's all the Slick One's got for you right now. I'm going to bail out of here. Don't forget to share this podcast with your idiot friends. Let them know I'm still around. I ain't dead yet. And you can listen to this Slickcast. We're streaming on all the major streaming platforms: Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Podchaser, and we originate on Podbean. And leave a comment on Podbean. If you haven't done so yet, let me know, what you think. All right? Until next week, remain calm, circle the wagons, go Bills, live fast, die old, and of course, weed, whiskey, and Warren Zevon. Peace out.
Hail to the king, baby.